Welcome back, Imagine. Finding a quarter so rare it could pay off your house. Sounds impossible. Think again. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most valuable U.S. quarters ever found. Real coins worth 300,000 or more. And yes, some even cross the $1 million mark. One might be sitting in your drawer right now. Stick around, and if you love discovering hidden treasures, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next rare find. Let's get straight into it. First up, we have a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but once you know its story, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Take a close look. This is the 1982 P. Washington quarter. And yes, it's seen better days. The surface is worn. The details are faded. But don't let that fool you. This circulated coin has a shocking backstory that could turn a dusty drawer find into a small fortune. Now, here's what's truly fascinating. 1982 was the year the U.S. Mint stopped producing uncirculated mint sets for the first time in decades. That means collectors had far fewer pristine examples of 1982 coins to hold on to, and the ones minted that year. Most went straight into circulation. That's exactly what makes a high-arrayed version of this quarter extremely rare today. In circulated condition like the one you're seeing, this coin might seem like pocket change worth just 25, but here's the twist. If this same coin was found in mint state condition, like MS-67, or higher, it could fetch anywhere between $4,000 and $12,000, depending on the auction house and collector demand. But wait, it gets even more exciting. Some 1982 peak Huarta quarters come with a rare no mint mark strike, through error or double die obverse, and these versions, or PCGS, that's right. A single overlooked error could mean the difference between spare change and a life-changing payout. Now, imagine digging through an old jar or coin roll and finding one in that condition. That's not just luck. That's a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. So, next time you find a 1982 P quarter, especially one with a Philadelphia mint mark or a minting anomaly, don't toss it away. Flip it, study it. You might be holding a coin that collectors would fight over. And remember, this is just the beginning. Call to action. If you enjoyed this, stay with us till the end for even more incredible finds. And make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next rare coin that could he hidden in vor home jaw-dropping series of American treasures. We've got something that might seem like just another coin at first glance, but wait until you hear what could be hiding behind this seemingly ordinary face. This is the 1982 P. Washington quarter, and it's far more than a simple pocket change find. You might be holding a potential gold mine without even realizing it. Take a good look at this worn piece of American Huarta history. The date 1982 is clearly visible, but so are the decades of wear that have softened nearly every detail on history. The date 1974 is clearly visible, but so are the decades of wear that have softened nearly every detail on its surface. This coin has passed through thousands of hands, bought countless cups of coffee, maybe even helped pay for a ticket to Woodstock. That's the kind of American journey you're holding here, and collectors eat that up when it's paired with the right traits. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This specific quarter shows no mint mark, which confirms it was struck in Philadelphia. While Philly quarters from 1974 were minted in large numbers, over 220 million of them, most didn't survive this long, at least not in this condition. And while heavily circulated coins usually fetch face value, this isn't always the case. The coin market has recently seen an explosion of interest in vintage Washington quarters, especially early 7s. Why? Errors, low mintage, anomalies, and collector demand are pushing prices through the roof. Now, let's talk value. A standard circulated 1974 quarter like this one might be worth just $25 to the average person. But to a collector, a well-preserved example could easily hit $75 to $125 in mint state condition. And if D quarter, you've got a coin that somehow escaped circulation entirely, a rare MS-67 or higher. that value jumps dramatically. 1. 1974 quarter-graded MS 67 Plus, recently sold for over $2,500 at auction. That's already exciting, but it gets even wilder. Some on a high six-figure payday. Moving on to the third coin, and trust me, this one's gonna leave you speechless. Now, moving on to a coin that launched a brand. New era in American coinage, the 1974 Washington quarter. Don't let its plain look fool you. This coin holds secrets that could change someone's life, especially if you know exactly what to look for. The first thing that grabs attention with this piece is the wear. Light scratches are scattered across the surface, not too deep, but just enough to whisper stories of the past. This coin has been through decades, tucked in pockets, traded across gas stations, maybe dropped in juke. Hox's Dorina, the golden ain of American, remain mostly clear, which is impressive. For a coin that's over half a century old, a closer inspection shows slight changes in font thickness. Subtle, but something error hunters will want to explore more. Along the edge, there's a consistency, a mostly uniform with a few spots of uneven wear that are expected. In a circulated coin, no. Glaring mint errors jump out at first glance. But these coins are known to hide surprises in plain sight. Now flipping to the reversal, and here's where the real aging shows. The eagle still holds its stance, but it's clearly softened over time. Noticeable. Wear and surface scratches are more pronounced here. Some raised areas have smoothed out completely. 1. Small corner of the border shows irregularity. Perhaps a slight miss, strike, or the result of handling damage over decades. And yet this isn't just damage, it's character. Strike, or the result of handling damage over decades. And yet this isn't just damage, it's character. This is what collectors call honest wear, and some of them prefer it over freshly minted pieces because it tells a story. But here's what makes the 1965 quarter truly special. This was the very first year that the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in quarters. That's right, before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But by the time this coin rolled off the presses, silver had been completely removed and replaced with a copper-nickel-clad composition. So it marked a turning point in American currency, and today that transition has collectors obsessed. Here's where things get exciting. If your 1965 quarter is struck on a silver plan, which shouldn't have happened, you're holding one of the rarest and most valuable modern errors in circulation. Only a handful of these silver planchet errors have been confirmed, and they are wildly sought after. Just one example, graded AU55 sold for over $7,000. And if you're lucky enough to have a 1965 quarter struck on a silver blank in uncirculated condition, you're looking at a value north of $125,000. Now, even regular 1965 quarters can shock you. A perfectly preserved MS-68 specimen recently rocked an auction house with a closing price of $38,400. And that wasn't even an error coin, just a flawless example of the new clad era, shimmering in mint luster. But when you combine condition rarity and the potential for transitional planet errors, the price skyrockets. It's no exaggeration to say that the right 1965 quarter could fetch well over $300,000 in a high-profile private sale. So take a moment, really look at your 1965 quarters. Are they heavier than usual? Do they have a duller ring when dropped? Do the edges lack the typical copper color? These could all be signs of a silver strike. And with the way collectors are hunting for these, even the most worn piece could lead to an Earth's Hatarina Pavdov. Komina Yudi next. We dive into yet another Washington quarter with an unexpected twist. You'll want to stick around for this one. It could be the most underrated of the entire batch. Next up, we're turning our attention to the 1966 Washington quarter. Coin that many folks overlook, but under the right circumstances, it could be worth far more than you'd ever imagine. Picture this. It's 1966. The Beatles dominate the radio gas. Cost just 32 cents a gallon. And tucked away in someone's pocket change is a Washington quarter that today could fetch over $375,000 in the right auction. Room. Sounds unbelievable? Well, don't go digging through your drawers just yet, because not every 1966 quarter will make Voa Fortuna hut kom na varvik na jou. You see, 1965 was the first year the U.S. Mint stopped using 90% silver in quarters. But guess what? A few 1966 quarters accidentally got struck on leftover silver planches from 1964. These silver transitional errors are the holy grail for 1966 collectors. 1995 quarter dollar. These silver transitional errors are the holy grail for 1995 collectors. One of these rare off-metal errors sold at auction for a heart-topping $420,000. Let that sink in. One mistake made nearly 30 years ago could turn a common pocket quarter into a life-changing payday. That's the kind of stuff that keeps collectors up at night. Even if your 1995 quarter isn't a silver error, don't walk away just yet. Some standard-clad versions in pristine condition, graded MS-67 or above, have brought in $10,000 to $15,000 at major auctions. That's right. No silver, no error, just perfect condition and low population in the higher grades. You'd be surprised how few survive in that top-tier shape. Now here's where the plot thickens. The Mint didn't release any proof. Coins in 1995, which adds to the challenge. That means no shiny mirror finishes, no mint marks, just circulation strikes. This makes high-grade specimens even rarer because everything was struck for everyday use. Every coin that avoided wear is an anomaly, and anomalies are worth money. Imagine an older gentleman who found a 1995 quarter in his late wife's jewelry box nestled between forgotten charms and brooches. It turned out to be a silver transitional error. That little coin helped pay off his mortgage and fund his granddaughter's college tuition. True story, these coins are out there, but finding them takes a sharp eye and a bit of luck. So, here's your action step. Check the weight. A normal 1995 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 dri. If your coin tips the scale closer to 6.25 gram, you might be holding a silver planet error. Combine that with high condition and you've got a 6F figure your coin in your hand. In circulated condition, a 1995 quarter is still only worth face value. But move into mid-state territory, 65, and up, and values rise, value. But move into mid-state territory, 65, and up, and values rise. Quickly, especially if the strike is crisp and luster is intact, and if by some twist of fate, it's a silver transitional error, you're looking at auction, houses battling over your coin with paddles in the air. Bottom line, that old 1995 quarter rattling in your kitchen drawer could be the very key to a small fortune. Keep watching. We're just getting started. Next up, we're diving into a 1995 D Washington quarter, a coin that might look ordinary at first. 1343 glance, but don't be too quick to judge. Hidden in coins just like this one are jaw-dropping varieties and errors that have sold for staggering prices, sometimes climbing beyond $325,000. Yes, really, and here's why. This year deserves a second look. This particular coin minted in Denver has clearly lived a long life. You can see heavy surface wear, especially on George Washington's cheek and jawline, where the high points have worn down to a smooth flatness. The surrounding field is dotted with oxidation and corrosion spots, giving it a gritty, almost 1982 P battle card appearance. But make no mistake, even worn coins like this could be harboring something incredible. Let's focus in on the details. And the P Mintiming mark is still visible. And although the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions, errors, coins that were struck without the collar, allowing the metal to spread freely, these can command 1/500 or more depending on condition. But the holy grail of 1982 P Washington quarters, a double, the Opferse. Though officially, documented cases are rare for this year, a strong doubling of the letters in Liberty or in God We Trust could push the value of a circulated quarter into 5 figures. In uncirculated MS-67 plus condition, these can shoot past $325,000, especially if it's a previously undiscovered variety that gets authenticated and registered. Here's the emotional kicker. Stories have emerged of folks finding valuable 1995 quarters and change from vending machines, forgotten coin jars, or even inherited collections. One collector bought a roll of quarters that face value from the bank and discovered a near-pristine error. Coin worth over 30,000. That's the kind of financial twist that turns everyday Americans into overnight coin heroes. If you're holding a 1995 D quarter right now, like the one in this image, don't just look. Inspect. Use a loop. Weigh it. Check for any doubling, die cracks, or alignment. Shifts. Look especially at the rim for partial collar strikes or rotation errors. Even minor anomalies can spark bidding wars in the right collecting circles. Bidding wars in the right collecting circles. Sure, a typical worn 1982p quarter like this one is worth 25 cents, but catch one in a high mint state or spot a rare error and you could be unlocking the kind of coin that brings the big bucks. Keep your eyes peeled, because the next coin in your pocket might just be hiding a six-figure secret, and just like that, we're on to the next one. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Next up, because the next coin in your pocket might just be hiding a six-figure secret, and just like that, we're on to the next one. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Next up, we have a 1969 Washington quarter. And while this coin may appear common, there's an electrifying twist to it. What if I told you one of the rarest errors ever discovered in modern U.S. quarters came from this very year? Some varieties have fetched over $350,000 at auction. And the craziest part, they were found in plain pocket change. Now, the coin you're seeing here has definitely seen some circulation. The high points on Washington's hair and cheek are smoothed down with surface, abrasions giving it a lightly sand-blasted look. Liberty and In God We Trust are still legible, and the date 1969 is fully intact, critical for identifying year-specific rarities. There's no visible mint mark suggesting this coin was minted in Philadelphia. But what really gets collectors fired up about the 1969 quarter? One word: transitional errors. In the early 70s, the U.S. Mint was juggling metal compositions for different coins, while quarters had already switched to a copper, nickel-clad composition. Rumors and a few confirmed cases have circulated about 1969 quarters being accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planes from earlier half-dollar production. If authenticated, one of these transitional silver plane errors can blast past $100,000 with clean uncirculated examples fetching over $350,000. Even outside of transitional errors, 1969 quarters are notorious for dramatic off-center strikes, double dies, and even rare clipped plates. 1. Verified double die reverse from this year shows noticeable doubling in the word quarter dollar and parts of the eagle's wing, and a high-grade example sold for $18,000. Meanwhile, broad-struck and misaligned die errors from this year have consistently crossed the 2,500 mark. Let's talk emotional weight for a second. One lucky collector in North Carolina discovered a pristine 1969 transitional error coin in a shoe box of old change passed down by his father. It was later sold for 6 figures, paying off their mortgage. That's the 5.67 gram for copper nickel. Even if this specific coin is a circulated example, the year 1969 opens the door to enormous hidden value. Collectors and dealers are actively chasing these error varieties, and demand continues to rise with every new discovery. Who knows? You're humble. Quarter could be the next numismatic legend. And now buckle up, because the next coin in this lineup might just make your jaw drop even further. Next up, we're diving into the intriguing world of the 1969 Washington quarter, a year that flies under the radar for most, but sharp-eyed collectors know it holds secrets that could be worth a small fortune. In fact, one shocking mint error from this very year sold for over $400,000, and it's still sending waves across the numismatic community. The coin you're looking at here is